So, like I said, I'm going to do a bigger thing about meditation and ADD because I think it's something that so many people, want to know about, basically, because it seems like that would be the opposite. It'd be impossible. If you're ADD, how could you possibly meditate? It's a joke. And indeed, it is challenging, but there are little hacks and tricks. The main takeaway is different things work for different people, even ADD people. It's not like they're all the same. You just have to know there are different strategies out there, and you kind of got to explore different things and see what works. But what you're after is not to not be ADD, because you're not going to not be ADD. A big part of it is accepting that you've got that attentional profile, and there's good and bad with it. What you really need, though, is a way to connect to kind of quiet, to a kind of sense of being connected or still. You can make contact with people. You're not just continually in that surface skipping mode, which is deeply unrewarding. In the surface skipping mode, it's hard to find the meaning and connection. So that's why ADD people get suicidal. It's like that's the thing they're struggling with. So what's going to help you connect to that stillness? For some, it'll be the raw concentration. It's just that basic training. It's like Dan says, every time you bring your mind wanders, you bring it back. It's like you're doing a muscle rep for the mind, for the muscle of attention. And it's just you. And with ADD, one of the keys is interest with anybody. But ADD people get bored really easily. So you got to try to work with a sensation that's inherently interesting to you. If you're going to go the concentration route, maybe it's the breath, maybe it's music. But you just mind wanders, bring it back, and it's just a numbers game. You just slowly build up the muscle, seeing if 1 week you can stay on it a little longer than the one after. That's a legitimate approach, and it's kind of the most common sense one. So that's one of strategy. I'll give you like 2 or 3 strategies right now, and I'll give some more later too. Another one, a strategy is if you can't find that absorption in a sitting practice because you're too jumpy, you're too agitated, too whatever, then try to find some other activity that you can just let yourself get absorbed in. But don't fool yourself. It's got to be one you can really let go into and not be just thinking all the time. So sometimes I'll go, oh yeah, I'm going to meditate by doing my run. And I'll go for a run, and it does feel good, but I'm just sitting there thinking about my problems, or I'm running, thinking about my problems, as opposed to when I'm running and I can really, if I can get absorbed in the feeling of running, then sometimes things can get quiet, and that's really a meditation. That's a kind of absorption practice. So something like that you can do and get absorbed in. It doesn't have to look like meditation. It could be gardening or painting, or and then the other strategy I'll just mention right now, like I said, I'll do more later, is kind of the opposite strategy that we did tonight, which is you're not trying to lose yourself in an activity. Instead, you're just trying to pan out and be okay being. And being cool with the fact that may not be that interesting or exciting. There's no novelty. That's the problem with ADD, is you're like a novelty junkie, right? You want the next hit. But just seeing if you can find a way to be settled, knowing that that's allowed without needing that novelty hit. And sometimes just having that prompt, like we did tonight, will do the job for people.